I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Hi there, this is Matt, and I'm doing a review for a film that was sent to me thanks to a very, very nice guy on here. Very kind guy, is always leaving very wonderful comments on my videos. He's been a very generous guy with his comments. Um, I think fairly recently, well, it seems like fairly recently he's been watching my stuff. At least that's what it feels like. I don't know, a month or two? I don't know. Maybe a few months? I don't know. My memory's for shit. My memory is really for shit for a lot of things. But I know his name is Dustin. And he sent me, yeah, Dustin. He said, hey, if I'm going to buy you a movie and send it to you, would you like to review it? And I'm like, really? You don't do... Sure, I'm fine with that. That's very nice. I'm down with that. That's why I reviewed The Crow, and then I reviewed the other Crow film because someone bought me the DVD of The Crow. And he bought me Career Opportunities, Maximum Comedy at Minimum Wage. But this is a film, Career Opportunities, that I really knew nothing about. I hadn't really heard about this film. I think I heard about this film maybe once a long time ago. It wasn't anything like on YouTube. It was like something random. I know you can see my chest here. Random, but it was like, I don't even know what the hell it was for. But I didn't really know much about this film, Career Opportunities. And actually, this film was not only produced, but written by John Hughes. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a John Hughes comedy. And first and foremost, I would say, I'm going to put the trailer to this movie down below. Check out the trailer and then check out the review. So right now, click on the link, watch the trailer, and then come back and watch this review. I would put the trailer with the review, but the studios are really pricks for copyright. Hell, the other day I had a horror film, one of my 69 favorite horror films, the Paramount, or as I call them, Parapricks, put a copyright claim on it, so I took it down. Copyright claim, granted, it's not a strike, but I'm always iffy on those copyright claims because I'm wondering when they'll change their minds, because studios are dicks. So if they're dicks, then they have no problem changing their minds for the worse. So I'll redo that. It's a horror film, so I'll redo it for October. But anyway, Career Opportunities was a film, again, written by John Hughes. This was 1991. This film came out. Didn't make much. Made about $11 million. This was the time where it was after Home Alone, which John Hughes had a hand in writing and I think producing. And I think the same year you had, I think he produced a film called Only the Lonely with John Candy, which I haven't seen yet. I haven't seen that one. I think he wrote that film Dutch. I think it was around the same time. And also I think he directed his last film, Curly Sue, around the same time. So John Hughes was pretty busy, but unfortunately, John Hughes, he's a guy I really miss. I really wish this guy would have directed more, but I think Curly Sue was, I guess it was just such a heartbreak for him that when that film did nothing, that he didn't do anymore. He didn't feel like directing any more movies. It's sad. I love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Sometime when I review a bunch of comedies, that's one I want to review. I love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. John Candy, Steve Martin. It's my favorite John Candy. It's my favorite Steve Martin. I love that movie to death. With a fucking car right fucking now. A fucking Dustin, 4 fucking wheels in the seat. I don't appreciate the way you speak to me. And I really don't appreciate how your company left me in the middle of fucking nowhere with fucking keys to a fucking car that isn't fucking there. I have to walk across a fucking runway and across a fucking highway just to see you smile on my fucking face. Sorry. I can't get enough of that movie. The Breakfast Club is a classic. Other films of that nature. Weird Science. I love Weird Science. In fact, I ordered the flashback edition of Weird Science DVD because I wanted the special features. And I love Weird Science. That's one of my favorites. This is a film obviously I didn't grow up with, but I will say I enjoyed this film. I enjoyed this film. I want to thank Dustin for saying that. I really enjoyed it. It was directed by this guy named Brian Gordon, which I guess he won an Oscar for a short movie. Like, he did a short film. I don't know if it won the Oscar, but I know I think it was at least nominated. Unfortunately, this is the only film he's directed. Yeah, he wrote and directed the Academy Award-winning short Ray's Male Heterosexual Dance Hall. Oh, he did a feature film called Pie in the Sky with Anne Heche and John Goodman. I don't know that film. But really, he's done TV work after this. He did... Okay, so he did do another movie after this, Pie in the Sky. But he did, like, episodes of Ally McBeal, Curb Your Enthusiasm, episode of One Tree Hill, episodes of The Office, or at least 2 episodes. Mainly TV work, so that's too bad. But yeah, this is written by John Hughes. And the plot is basically, you have this, although I will say, I guess this is the poster of the movie as well as the DVD cover, but this was the theatrical poster. It's kind of that's a lame poster. It's not even kind of, that's a lame poster. Because that doesn't say anything about the movie. It's some guy and some girl. I mean, that doesn't tell anything about the plot. It's just a lame cover. I mean, you could make that cover in 30 seconds or less. But as for the film itself, it stars Frank Whaley. This is the guy here, Frank Whaley, which I know my friend Mike reviewed a film he starred in called Swimming with Sharks. Also starring Kevin Spacey, which I haven't seen yet, but I've heard good things. I don't own that movie. I haven't seen that one. But other films that Frank Whaley has been in, I remember him most in a small role he had in Broken Arrow, John Woo film with John Travolta and Christian Slater. He had a small film in Broken Arrow. He had a small role in the film Broken Arrow. I remember him mostly from that. But he's been, I guess, a lot of stuff. Oh, that's right. I think he was one of Tom Cruise's friends. Yeah, he was a friend of Tom Cruise in Born on the 4th of July. He was in that movie. He was in Field of Dreams as well. Little Monsters. He was in The Doors. He was in IQ. I'm sure people wonder what the fuck is IQ. Well, IQ is that movie with Tim Robbins, Meg Ryan, Walter Matthau, where Walter Matthau played Albert Einstein. He was in this film called Retroactive, which I have not seen, but I've heard about. Oh god, he was in The Cell too. I remember that. Vacancy, I didn't like the third act in Vacancy. I really did not like the third act of Vacancy. Oh, he was in a small role in Pulp Fiction. Oh yeah, I think he's the guy in Pulp Fiction where Samuel Jackson gives his speech, Ezekiel, that great speech, and he's the guy, that's the guy Sam Jackson shoots. Now, of course, the girl is Jennifer Connelly. I mean, who doesn't know Jennifer Connelly? You know, she was in a Dario Argento film, which I know I talked about Jennifer Connelly before, but I think I said the wrong Dario Argento film. She was in a film called Phenomena, also known as Creepers. That's the one with Donald Pleasance and has like the bugs and stuff. That's Jennifer Connelly. But Jennifer Connelly's been in a lot of stuff. I think was she in the Hulk, the 2003 Hulk movie? I think so. But Jennifer Connelly's gorgeous. And basically it's about Frank Whaley. He's this guy who's 21 years old. He's still living with his parents. So is his sister, but his sister's working. This is a guy who can't hold a job. He is pretty much called the town liar. He makes up stories. He makes up stuff. Basically, his father says that he better get a job. So one thing leads to another. And Dustin, if hopefully you're watching, this movie, basically he gets a job at Target. Did you know I used to work at Target? Is that why you recommend this movie? No. Well, I mean, I think he grew up with this film, which I didn't grow up with the film, but I will say I was entertained with the film. But he basically gets a job at Target. Basically, pretty much the janitor, or as they call it, night cleanup boy at Target. I used to work at Target many years ago, but not as that. I worked at stocking. I was one of the stockers. Basically, you come in like at 3, 4 in the morning, and then you work until everything stopped. So you'd be out maybe by 8 o'clock, but usually about 10 o'clock or noon, which was nice because, boom, 10 o'clock, 11 noon, everything's open. You can go do your stuff, and you pretty much have the rest of the day to do whatever you want. But basically, he's working at Target, and it's a lot of fun because I like Frank Whaley. I liked him in this film. He was likable, granted a little bit of a fibber, but I know the guy who played his dad was kind of an asshole. But the woman who played his mom, she was a sweetheart. She was definitely a sweetheart. I want to get this lady's name. Dottie Dodge, Jenny O'Hara. She played a sweetheart of a mom. I really liked her. But the dad's really harping on him to get a job. So again, he gets a job at Target. And actually, it's John Candy. John Candy is the store manager. He's in the film for like, I don't know, 2 minutes tops. But it's always nice to see John Candy. And this was a film I didn't know John Candy was in. I guess because he's good friends with John Hughes. Like he was in Home Alone and, of course, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And but I love John Candy. I miss John Candy so much. And I know I still haven't seen some of his stuff like Only the Lonely. And is that the one with the soap opera? Or Delirious? That's the one. I haven't seen that one. I know I haven't seen it. But I don't know when I get, sometime when I get them. There's always stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, there's this movie, yeah. But it's a lot of fun. Frank Whaley, maybe it's partial to me because I spent a lot of years working at Target. And of course this is 1991, so you know it's by the times where you actually had tapes, cassette tapes to listen to and stuff. And this guy's not only do you have John Candy who ultimately gives him the job, but then you also have this custodian, which again, he's only in this film for like a minute or two. William Forsythe plays this really crazy custodian who, tells him what to do and not to do. Scary guy. And basically locks Frank Whaley for the night, and he's supposed to work the night. And Frank Whaley, I guess this is a time maybe where they don't have cameras, like a camera system to monitor people, including workers, because he's just like tearing up the whole place. It's a lot of fun. Maybe because I like it's weird. I like movies that take place in a store or in a mall. Dawn of the Dead, the original and the remake, Mallrats. I haven't seen Empire Records, but I don't know. I guess I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. I don't know why. But he's having fun. He's like, he has like this toy, a gorilla that he pulls around. He's on roller skates. He's on bicycles. He messes with the intercom. He eats food and chips. It's like this guy doesn't care if he gets fired. He's basically taking all this stuff and wearing it, and he's just doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And then ultimately, he spots Jennifer Connelly. And basically, she's sort of the rich, spoiled kid. But I thought she did a good job here. Basically, you get the idea that she fell asleep because she was going to shoplift, but she couldn't do it, and she fell asleep and thus woke up. And basically, you get a little bit of romance between the two where they realize they're not so different. For instance, Frank Whaley, he keeps saying he wants to live at home, but at the same time, you get the idea that, he just, maybe he doesn't want to be alone, so he's not going off and doing stuff. And you get the idea of Jennifer Connelly. She has sort of an abusive dad, played by Noble Willingham. Noble Willingham, you probably remember him from either Walker, Texas Ranger. He was the bad guy. He was one of the bad guys in The Last Boy Scout. And it cuts from every now where that father and a cop, actually played by Barry Corbin. Barry Corbin's a good, I don't know if you call him character actor, but he's a good actor. He was in War Games. He was in Critters 2. He was in Northern Exposure. I think if you see the guy, it's like, I've seen this guy before. So every once in a while, but thankfully I like that it didn't go towards those guys too much. It pretty much stuck with these two throughout most of the film, having fun in the store and telling a little bit of their feelings and a little bit of, what their life's going. Like, she talks about how, she sort of, she wants to leave. She wants to do stuff to upset her father. Like, at the beginning, like, you see a little bit of Jennifer Connelly before all this happens in the store, where Noble Willingham has these, like, two business guys, and just to piss her dad off, she goes up and kisses one guy. Lucky sumbitch. But it was one of those things that, like, she wants to run off to California, and he's not sure, but what pretty much, he agrees with her because she mentions that, he has a tendency to beat her up, and he's sort of shocked by that, and he's like, that's where he gets him to finally go with it. But mostly, I'm not going to give all the other stuff away, what they do in the store. They have fun. I think that's, I like these two people. I thought they worked well together. I like the environment of the store, the setting, and, them having fun. It's kind of something you would love to do, except, again, it's kind of weird. Like, you would think there'd be a security system or, cameras watching what they're doing, but hey, if you didn't care and you didn't have to worry about that, having fun, you kind of wish you could do that, Hell, I would have loved to have done that. But that's really most of the film for about another thing, the film is very short. Like, this film, it's an hour and 23 minutes. That's with credits. Without credits, the end credits, I mean, sorry, I think this clocked in like an hour and 18 minutes. About an hour and 18 minutes, so it's very, like, not too long of a movie. If you see the trailer, you get the idea in the trailer. I like the trailer. If you guys should, like I said, check out the trailer. Should be down below. I like the use of the song in the trailer. She drives me crazy, and I can't help myself. Unfortunately, that's not in the movie. That would have been cool if that song was in the movie. Yeah, it seems like a big portion of the trailer is about how these two guys who are robbers, they break into the store, and it's actually Dermot Mulroney, and I guess the other guy is actually his brother, Kieran Mulroney. That's weird. Something with John Hughes, you have an actor whose brother is Kieran, like Macaulay Culkin and then Kieran Culkin here. You had Dermot Mulroney and his brother Kieran Mulroney. But they're not in the film too much. Probably a lot. I mean, there's a mention of them at the very beginning, and like one or two mentions from them in the middle, and pretty much the last maybe 20 minutes is them breaking in, and then basically Frank Whaley and Jennifer Connelly dealing with these guys. And you guys should check out the film to see what happens next. But if you're a fan of John Hughes, I wouldn't say this is one of his best films he wrote. I didn't think it was, tremendously laugh-out-loud funny like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles or Weird Science for me, but I grew up with those films. But this was entertaining. It was fast-paced. likable actors. It's fun. It's likable. It's breezy. It's I will say a problem I have with the movie. One is there's a scene where the Frank Whaley finds a double barrel shotgun, and in order to steer the guys, he like shoots it, but then the way he shoots, again, it's a double barrel shotgun, so you get 2 shells, and it goes like toom 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 toom. I'm like, what? Does he have a machine gun? What the hell? Like, does he have one of those, does he have the AA-12 automatic shotgun from Terry Crews in Expendables? But you know, I know it's a comedy. But really, the main one I was talking about is the ending seems kind of abrupt. And again, the spoiler warnings. If you don't want to hear the ending, don't hear. But I would say check out the film. But at the end of the film, it seems very abrupt because it's, you know, Frank Whaley, you know, stops the, basically scares the crooks by unloading that shotgun, like, you know, like a machine gun. Then it very much cuts to Frank Whaley having the shotgun. Cuts to Noble Willingham and this character's dad in like the same like coffee shop or something, because for some instance, for once in a while, it also cuts back to this guy's dad, who I said was an asshole. Like he couldn't sleep at night, and he just eats like random stuff, and I didn't really get what that was going. I can only assume it's, I guess maybe the guy feels guilty. I guess he does say that, you know, maybe he feels guilty for harping on his kid. But nothing really gets resolved from that. Like nothing doesn't lead up to anything. You know what I mean? Because it's Frank Whaley sees the girl leaves the store, Jennifer Connelly, Frank Whaley goes off. Barry Corbin, the cop, finds Dermot Mulroney's brother tied up. Then it cuts to a limo going up to these kids that Frank Whaley talked to at the beginning, you know, making up stuff. But here, he pulls up in a limo and shows him with Jennifer Connelly. Then they leave. Then all of a sudden they're in Hollywood. And I'm like, you know, they did, for such a short film, again, 1 hour and 18 without credits, I think they could have put a little more loose ends tied up at the ending. For instance, you know, maybe a scene with the guy and his dad, sort of get that little storyline, like, you know, maybe his dad apologized, or dad saying, you know, I'm sorry for harping on you. He said, no, it's okay, but, you know, I'm going to do this thing. And his dad smiling. Like, really nothing gets resolved from that. Like, you don't even see Frank Whaley, like, talk to his parents or vice versa. I guess he just leaves without telling them. Or the dad, Noble Willingham, if he was abusing his daughter, like, there's no comeuppance for this guy. It's mainly just him with the cop, a handful of scenes, and then basically him, like, nothing gets resolved from that. And I understand they say where she got the money, like she has $50,000, but like, okay, they're in California. What are they going to do? What jobs are they going to have? You know, I guess that's not the point, but it just seemed like an abrupt ending. Like, maybe need a little bit more to the ending. It just seemed a little bit of an abrupt ending. But other than that, it's fun. It's entertaining. It's breezy. Likable characters. I love the setup. I love using the Target store, and most of the film taking place in the store. I like that idea. And come on, it's written by John Hughes. You should give it a watch once. I mean, this is 1991 John Hughes writing. You know, this is when he's writing Home Alone, and he previously, you know, did films like Weird Science and Planes, Trains, Automobiles, and, you know, if you're a fan of John Hughes, even if though it's just him writing it, you should check it out. I think any John Hughes fan should see this at least once. If you don't like it, that's your prerogative. But I enjoy this film, so I thank Dustin for sending me it. So I enjoy the movie. As for the DVD, there's nothing on it. Production notes. It said a trailer, but I didn't even see a trailer on this. Yeah, it says trailer, but even it says bonus materials. I looked on it. It says production notes, cast and filmmakers, Universal Web links. I don't think there is a trailer. Maybe it's on the main menu and I missed it. Because sometimes they do that strange thing. Like, they have bonus features, then the trailer. I'm like... So maybe I have to look at that again. But, again, you can check the trailer down below. But so, no features. Yeah, this is from Universal. But, yeah, career opportunities. I liked it. But anyway, thanks for watching this review. And I will see you next time with another review or two. I'll probably be Wednesday when you guys are seeing this, so maybe around Friday I'll probably I'll say this. I'll review Judge Dredd, and then I'll review that horror film I was talking about, that Paramount Parabricks. And then that'll make sense because that'll be the start of October, and I don't know what I'm reviewing for October. I'm not really taking requests. I just want to do random stuff. That's really what I want. I just want to do random stuff. You know, maybe some of them will be a theme, but I just want to do random stuff. I'm not really taking requests or anything. But anyway, hope you enjoyed, and talk to you later. Thank you.